What is going on, people? Welcome back to the YouTube channel and another episode of Displaying Classic. The series is not done yet. We have one more show left in the gas tank, one more opportunity at an Ifbb Pro card, and that is what we're going to talk through in today's video. The decision that I have made, what show I have chosen, why I have chosen that show. It is currently Monday, the 27th of October, so 8 days on from the Two Bros British Finals. I hope you guys enjoyed the show day movie that Andrew and I put together, a seriously special video for me to look back on, and I left it on a bit of a cliffhanger. And I haven't told anybody what my next move is going to be, and we're going to talk through that in today's video. It was so important that we did not make a rash decision fueled with emotion on show day weekend. It was so important that I gave back to the people around me, had my first day in a more relaxed setting on prep where we enjoyed some off-plan food, got a training session in, enjoyed some time with the people close to me, and just have an opportunity to unwind for a day, let the dust settle, and then me and Dan hopped on a call on Monday to put a plan of action in place. Now, going into the season, the goal was to bring my physique in at its 100% capacity for a British Finals. That was the goal for this first ever pro qualifier. And I feel like we've done that considering the circumstances. We brought my physique in at pretty much 100% for the time of day that I was on stage, which was much later in the day and typically doesn't work as well for my physique. I always perform so much better in the morning. The visuals are always so much better in the morning, but I could not be happier with the package we brought to that British Finals for the time of day that we were on stage. And we got some feedback from the judges, which was super positive. Relatively vague. They were very happy with the overall balance, the presentation, and what I brought to stage. Very happy with the tan, skin quality. I'm really happy with the classic look that we brought. They said there was room for a little bit more condition, which I completely agree with. And once again, as I progress throughout the day, I do seem to lose a little bit of condition and detail, especially in my glutes, which is such an indicator of condition for a lot of people. The only other improvement that the head judge wanted to see was more development in my outer quad, which we have always known, always my weakest body part, and something that can't be achieved before another pro qualifier. This is something that needs to be worked on again within the off season, which we will absolutely do. And then it's just to bring my whole physique up, keeping the balance that I already possess. So super positive feedback, but there is still improvements to be made for this season, which I'll get onto in a minute. So me and Dan always said going into the British Finals, if we feel like that look could not be improved on, and we brought my physique in at its max capacity, regardless of the result, we could walk away from that season happy, and we would likely walk away from that season knowing that there isn't a better look in the tank. However, coming that close, getting so much feedback from other top coaches and other figures within the industry saying that that physique could have walked onto many other pro qualifier stages and won a pro card, and I feel I owe it to myself to have one more go. I can then walk away from this season with no regrets, knowing I had two really good opportunities, two really good attempts at a pro card. I could then walk into the next improvement phase so content, regardless of the result. So with that in mind, we had two options. Poland on the 2nd of November or Romania on the 8th of November. There was pros and cons to both options. We needed to pick the show that was going to allow us to deliver the best possible look, to be competitive. There was lots of other considerations. Number one, finances. Going to an international show is very expensive. The travel, the accommodation, the entry fees are extortionate. So I needed to make a financial decision. Could I warrant spending over £1,000 on another attempt at a pro card? That was number one. Number two, health. We have been in prep for 22 weeks now. As an assisted bodybuilder, you are putting yourself under higher stresses with the PEDs that you use, especially when you are peaking and utilizing things like orals. So we needed to make a decision based on health, whether we could continue going. And then the third consideration is my close circle. They are all so important to me, and I need to consider how that decision will affect them continuing on with prep for another 2 to 3 weeks and traveling abroad. So first off, finances. I have savings behind me, and yes, it is very expensive, but you need to shift perspective. As long as it doesn't put you in a financially stressful position, I look at it as an investment. It is experience, not only of a new country, but also I'm investing in the experience of traveling abroad as a competitor. This is something that I am going to have to do very frequently as a pro. I will be traveling across to the States, across to loads of different European countries when I inevitably turn pro. So it's an experience that I need to gain as an athlete and also as a coach. I have prepped multiple athletes who have had to go and compete abroad, yet haven't had that experience myself. So yes, it's a financial investment, but I'm going to get so many memories, so many experiences, so much data to take forward, not only for me as an athlete, but also for me as a coach. So that is an investment that I warranted is worth making. The second, health. We have only put my body through 2 peaks so far. We are very early on within my PED journey, so the total drug load is not excessive. All of our blood work up until this point has shown no signs of issues. Yes, we are putting my body under more stress by peaking again. However, it isn't like I've done 4, 5 back-to-back pro qualifiers, really pushing my body and stringing it out in order to achieve a pro card. I feel fresh, both mentally and physically, and I feel like I have another show in me, so why not take that? We will then pull bloods once again post-show, and we will come down to a health phase where that is the absolute priority. We will not be stringing this season on further than 1 more attempt. So that reassured to me that health is in a good spot for this. The third option is obviously the circle close to me. They are all so supportive of every decision that I make, and they all pushed me to go and do another pro qualifier. They believe it is the right move. Another consideration is if I didn't do another show, when would I reattempt getting a pro card? And I feel like being that close to getting the pro card, being that close to pro standard, I feel like I would have to go again next year, which would only give me a 5 to 6 month improvement season. That doesn't excite me too much. Also, it's super important I get the opportunity to give back to my partner, go on a holiday next year, and spend time developing my physique. Because competing again next year not only wouldn't give me loads of time to improve, but it also comes with another financial investment, an investment of time and sacrifice for the people close to me, and also health as well. So that is another consideration, because if we manage to achieve the pro card this year, I know I need at least a 2-year off season to be competitive as a pro. And that seriously excites me, the thought of a 2-year improvement phase. Now, the other option, if I didn't get it, and if I don't get it at this next pro qualifier, is that we still take a 2-year off season. Regardless of being that close to the pro card, we take a 2-year off season to become pro standard and a good pro standard, and then go for the pro card with certainty that it should happen in that season, and then hopefully walk onto a pro stage and still be competitive there. So it doesn't really change the plans massively, but I think I will find it very tough to not go for it again next year if I don't achieve it this year and being so close. So that was another consideration as well. So with all 3 of those considerations in place, we decided to select Poland. Why Poland? Initially, the decision was Romania on the 8th of November, but we needed to be strategic in our decision making here. Why Poland? The classic category in the Poland Pro qualifier is the first category of the day. So I will be on stage at 9 to half 9 in the morning. This completely aligns with my best look of the day. Romania, I'd be on stage at about 5 o'clock. So that is the first reason why we were leaning towards Poland. Number two, Poland is sooner. Poland is in 6 days' time. It's another week where we don't have to hold on to the look. It was a 2-week gap from the British finals, so we had an opportunity to work off the peak week weight and then reverse back up into this Poland Pro qualifier. So I feel like going for Poland, my physique will be that much fresher. Also, you need to look at what they typically reward at these shows, at previous pro qualifiers in these countries. And typically in Romania, they seem to be rewarding a slightly bigger, more muscular look, almost like a bodybuilder type look. Whereas in Poland, they seem to be leaning towards more shapely physiques, more what I feel is true classic. So with all of those things in mind, despite Poland being slightly more expensive, it was the right move to pick Poland. So we're 6 days out from the final pro card attempt in Warsaw, Poland, which is so exciting. Now, how do we plan on bringing an even better package to Poland? Because I do feel like there is an opportunity to do so. Number one is posing. The biggest change in my physique right now will not come from more condition, will not come from more fullness, because we nailed the peak. It will come from small posing tweaks. The small tweaks in posing when you are in stage condition can make a drastic difference. You can make it look like you've added kilos of muscle onto your frame by posing correctly. So we are just scrutinizing every single pose, the way that I hit it, to see if we can improve the look there. That is super important. Number two, it is so important not to become blindsided by condition as an athlete and go into self-sabotage. I stepped off that British final stage saying to Dan, we can get more condition, we can get more condition. But will that be at the cost of the overall package? Yes, it will. We find in digging for that final bit of condition, we will lose my legs, in particular my adductors, the fullness to my quads, which not only throws off the balance of my physique, but makes my legs look underdeveloped. When they are full, when they are peaked, they are of a sufficient standard. But if I was to diet for more condition, you'd lose the legs and we'd be at risk of not being able to bring them back. So it's so important that we didn't go hunting for loads more condition when we know condition will be gained from being on stage earlier in the day, maybe slight manipulations to the peak. So we in the last week have been chipping away ever so slowly, but ensuring that we feed back up on those leg days, don't push expenditure too hard. And I feel like we've got a really nice balanced look currently. I'll put some shots up on the screen of condition and fullness. And it's just about micromanaging this look here with daily adjustments just to hold the look. We brought ourselves back down to a baseline level of condition that we're happy with. And we know my best look will be about 5 to 6 to 7 pounds up from my all-time prep low of like 200 pounds. So we're kind of holding just below that. And the look is in a really good spot right now, which I'm really happy with. So it's super important that we don't just go and diet away the legs. I feel like I will be able to achieve that inside out fat-free condition in future seasons when number one, I gain more muscle maturity and density, but number two, I gain enough tissue that we can almost sacrifice a little bit in order to get all of the fat completely off. But right now, that will not lead to my best look. And that hurts as an athlete because I want to be inside out. I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to be inside out. And don't get me wrong, I'm very close. But in trying to hunt for that, we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot. And the third thing is just the small little details. Ensuring skincare is in the perfect spot to nail the tan again. Ensuring that I keep my trunks up at the perfect spot on stage. We've got a little tool up our sleeve to keep the trunks pinned in a really nice position to ensure we create that flow, that X-frame, that taper. So we are just trying to cover every single possible avenue to bring a better look, and you pair that with a nice morning show day, which works better with my physique, and I truly feel like we could see an improvement for this final show of the season. We obviously need to consider traveling abroad, the stress that comes about with that. So we're heading out to Poland on Thursday, 3 days before the show, so we can get settled in that new environment, minimize stress, and have a bit of a base camp before we compete. So I'm very excited, and it's all coming around very quickly. So this series is coming to an end. We have one more attempt. Whatever happens on Sunday, I will walk away from this season far exceeding my expectations, beyond content with the packages that we have brought, very rich with memories and experiences. So we're going to go do the damn thing. One more dance, one more chance at a pro card for this season. I'll be sure to document the entire trip for you guys and document that experience of traveling abroad for a pro qualifier for the first ever time, and we will see what happens. So thank you as always, guys, for investing in this journey, investing in this series and the content that I put out. It goes such a long way. So thank you for all of the support, and the next video is likely to be us traveling to Poland. I'll see you there.